Hello, everybody. Today we're brought to you by Yokkao.
Yokkao is one of the best Muay Thai equipment and apparel brands in the world. And you can get 10% discount by using our code CombatCasuals10. That's CombatCasuals10.
And we're also brought to you by Powerbody.
Powerbody is one of the best sports supplement wholesalers and retailers in the UK. And again, you can use our code on the retail site, CombatCasuals10. CombatCasuals10.
Should we start the podcast now? Should we do that?
Yeah, let's do it. That's enough of that. Hello and welcome to the Combat Casuals podcast.
If you're a fan of mixed martial arts and all things related, stick around.
We'll be talking everything from past and future events
to harnessing your inner chi and everything in between.
We want to provide you with the opportunity to get involved in the ultimate fighting conversation.
We've been friends for too long now,
and we always have strange conversations.
So we thought, hey, why not make a podcast?
I'm Dustin.
I'm Ian.
And we're the Combat Casuals. Out came a big old load of blood. I don't remember getting knocked on the nose, so I don't know.
That's something you probably want to remember.
I'm not gonna WebMD it though, because I've probably got something.
Oh no, that's the worst thing to do. As somebody who's a bit of a hypochondriac, the worst thing to do is like I'm WebMDing something. Like I've been sick this past week, and I'm just sick. I don't want to know exactly what it is. I'm just ill. Yeah, I don't care. I mean, it's fine.
You know what's annoying though is what if you are dying? Like, because if you think of like you might be like hopefully Ian, you are just a bit sick, but you might be dying, and you haven't looked up your symptoms.
Christ.
What if you are terminal?
What a way to start the podcast.
Yeah,
we're less than a minute in, and we're talking about me being dead.
Well, I'll just say, just so that it's out there and the listeners are aware, you do sound like shit.
Yeah, no.
No, you don't. You don't really. You don't really.
If there's any coughs or sniffs in this episode, I apologize. You're gonna have to put up with this. Oh.
That's why I went to blow my nose just now. Just force a habit. I don't want to be sniffing through the podcast. And nose was full of blood. Brilliant.
I'm forcing people to accept it. I'm like, you're gonna have to embrace my sniff.
I considered starting the podcast whilst I was still eating, but I've listened to podcasts where they eat, and it's awful.
Oh no! Even for comedy, it's not that funny.
It's not funny at all, man. It's not nice.
It's actually unpleasant.
Nice
it's really.
If anyone disagrees, feel free to write in. If you want to hear me eat, write in. Let us know.
We'll do it.
Tell me what you'd like me to eat. I was eating bagels.
We'll do a whole podcast where we're just eating, and we'll see how well that goes.
I've got a new food obsession. Cinnamon and raisin New York bagels. Oh so my fucking toasted. Christ! Yeah, cut in half, toasted, bit of butter. Yes. I'm obsessed, mate. I'm eating honestly. I'm eating about a pack a day at the moment. Because you know what?
That's more than just food. That's a bit.
Know, mate. I'm cutting, and I promise you, it fits into my macros. My cutting calories at the moment is 4,200, and I'm still losing weight.
Damn, impressive. Yeah. Well done. And cutting's not easy. I've just done that. I've just finished doing it.
Well, it sounds really shitty. I'm not saying like, oh, I'm really good at. I find cutting easy because I'd lose weight so easily. Like,
yeah.
It's not difficult for me to lose weight. It's very difficult for me to gain weight. It's not.
I was about to say when we were training together, you found it hard to put weight on, didn't you?
That's still the case.
Still the
my
same.
My bulking calories is about 5,000.
Damn. Yeah, fair, man. Like I find this time actually was a lot easier cutting weight. I didn't do any of them because last time we did a podcast about cutting weight and stuff, I was saying I was doing keto and stuff just to get off the weight quite quickly. But because I planned this better, I kept this like a better balance of things. I was eating carbs still, and it was far more balanced. I actually felt really good. I felt a lot better. Like I didn't feel as physically drained. You know what I mean?
Yeah, of course, man. It felt good at the minute, dude. When you put up,
thanks.
I think it was on your because obviously I haven't seen you for a while. I haven't seen you since Bellator, and you put up a video. I think it was wrestling. You said it was like some wrestling rounds with someone, and I was like looking around for you. I was like, okay, so where's Ian? And I was like, oh shit.
yeah. That's with I think that's with my main training partner, Jamal. He's great. He's a really good wrestler. I'm actually considering going the weight below because in my next competition, Grappling Industries, which will be in June, I'm thinking of going to 77 kg.
Woof. I remember when you were like, did you get over 100? You were 90 something.
I was
I'm
90
sure you were.
something. Yeah, I was 90 something. And now the recent competition was 82. I'm thinking of going to 77 because I'm not being like, oh yeah, I definitely could make it. It's going to be hard, but I still had some like body fat. I've definitely on the day I was still losing weight. You know what I mean? Like I got to the comp and I was about 81, although that was a drama, man. I turned up for the competition and they had deleted all of the no gi competitors' details by mistake.
Brilliant.
So nobody weighed in. So I had no. Yeah, I have to trust that my opponent was the same weight, and I don't doubt he was. He was fucking huge. He was.
What did someone just give it like a quick ocular? Just looked at you like,
no, he did. Yeah, genuinely.
70.
He looked at me. He said, "What weight category are you in?" I said 82, and he went, "Yeah, you look about fine," and stamped me.
Shut up, man.
Yeah, genuinely.
And there was no scales. No one thought, should we bring some scales?
Well, there were scales, but only for the gi people.
Why?
Honestly, I can't. It was the one of the. I've competed with this organization before. I won't say because I don't want to like slag them off. And this is the first time.
Slag them off. Yeah.
This was the first time this ever happened. Like in all the other times I've done it, it's all been very good and quite well organized. This was the first time I turned up, and I was at the front desk. I came early to weigh in because I wanted to eat, and I said, "Oh, I'm here for 82 no gi and absolute." And they were like, "Oh yeah, no, we've got no details for the adults and doing no gi and stuff. So you just have to. What weight are you?" And I was 84, and they went, "Yeah, here's a stamp," and that was it.
You never know what you're going to get at these opens, do you? One of my guys, Jake. He was only supposed to have 3 in his category, and it was in Manchester, which isn't really far. It's like 2 hours maybe drive.
Yeah.
Went all the way over there, and the other 2 people just didn't turn up.
Really?
So he just went over there, got a medal, got a photo on the podium, and went home.
Fuck's sake!
And I was like, "Hey, man, still put that in your Instagram bio, Manchester Open
gold
champion.
Winner, yeah,
you know
Manchester, fucking
just crop the photo so you can't see the other bits of the podium. Just
that's
crop
genius.
It to you.
Yeah. Or if they ask, "Oh, where's the other 2 guys?" You can just be like, "Oh, they were sore losers."
No, neither of them could walk. Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, it was a weird one.
They were able to make it to the podium.
I also thought absolute was no gi, but because they've done it before. In fact, what's your mate who he came to Bellator blue belt? He's
Alex.
Alex, that's it. Alex did absolute at this place before. Like I saw him there at the last one, so I assumed they were doing no gi absolute again. And they were like, "Oh no, we've scrapped it for the day, and we're just doing gi absolute. You can do that if you want." Which I was like, I've never fucking competed in gi. So my mate Jamal had to lend me his gi because I didn't bring one, and because we're the same height, I did it off the cuff. I haven't been training gi at all. The guy was quite big because it's absolute. I did all right. I almost got an arm bar, but because I haven't been practicing any of the grips for gi, I just been doing no gi. The first thing I went for was a no gi grip. And you can hear my team shouting, "You've got grips." And I was like, "Oh yeah, shit." I just because your brain's just thinking one thing and thinking no gi, no gi, no gi. And my brain just was not thinking about gi at all. So yeah, it was a weird day. And then my actual match in no gi, the guy, fundamentally he was better than me. I'm not going to put excuses, but I think he does amateur cage warriors. And the guy, he was pretty rough, man. There was a bit rewatching it, I forgot. But he upkicked me in the face. And
really?
Yeah. And
brilliant.
I'm now looking back on it. I feel like the ref should have at least stopped it. Other people have watched it in my team and gone, that should have been a DQ.
But nothing happened at all. He didn't even stop it to see if you were okay.
No, nothing.
Mad.
No. Yeah. It was pretty. Now I look back on it. The guy also watching it, his jiu-jitsu was better. Again, I almost got an armbar again, but he was good at getting out of that. He accidentally poked me in the eye. It was a complete mistake, and I visibly.
But he just he was just rolling really hard and
and he could see
only really happen the harder you're rolling.
Exactly. And he saw that happened. He did stop. He did stop when that happened. But the up kick, Like, I don't know what. Like, I was trying to enter his guard, and because he was kicking up, I couldn't actually get any hold, and he kicked me in the face. So I backed away. He stood back up, and I genuinely, now thinking about it, ref should have at least stopped it to see if I was all right. But other people said it should have been a DQ. But I would have hate to have won by a DQ anyway. The guy was better, but it was just a bit weird. It was a weird match. It was a weird day. It was fun overall, though.
But it creates a difficult situation because it's like, yeah, you don't want to win by DQ, but you also don't want to lose after someone's cheated.
Yeah, it's a weird one.
Neither is good. Once someone's cheated, it ruins it all.
It does. I mean, that kind of links in to this weekend with some fights coming up with Aljamain Sterling and Peter Yan, because people hate Piotr. People really hate Aljamain Sterling for being champion. But it's a difficult one, isn't it? Because he didn't get kneed in the head, did he? So
exactly, that's the tough thing about it. Like, I think he's acted like a knob.
Yeah,
about it, definitely. But you can't blame him for becoming the champion. Like, the other guy cheated, and it did have an effect on the fight. He just should have said, I get it, I won, but like, this isn't over. We need to rematch. But he started acting like the champion immediately, didn't he?
Yeah, he did. Yeah, that wasn't good. Man. That wasn't good. But yeah, I don't think. Again, I like to think the guy wasn't intentionally trying to kick me in the face. I think like maybe he was just trying to not allow me to get grips, and it was a mistake.
Yeah.
And as an MMA fighter, he might be more used to doing that. Like, I think the best of people, and he wasn't a nasty guy. Like, I spoke to him briefly. He wasn't like, yeah, I'm just gonna fucking smash people and stuff like that.
They really are, man. You get the same in class. People will come in and, like, even if it's their very first class, you can tell the ones who are just going to be like really frantic and like leaping about.
Yeah,
you got to try and just get them to calm down.
Exactly. So I'm going to be competing again. It hasn't put me off competing at all, and it was a fun day. Like, the team did well. We got gold, a silver, bronze, so that's pretty good nice. Overall. So yeah, it was fun. But yeah, the weigh-in was the biggest thing. Like, the actual matches, I'm like, shit happens, it's fine. But for them not to weigh anybody in, I'm just like, what the fuck?
Daft, mate. It's daft.
It's fucking. But yeah, I'm thinking of doing 77. Like, why not? See if I can make it. I've got till June, so might as well try.
If you feel good at that weight, then do it.
Yeah. I mean, I feel good at 82. I've never been lower, so I thought.
Are you still like 90% legs? Like, have you kept your calves?
Yeah, I have, man. I have. I'm more like strength in my legs for sure, for definite.
Nice, man.
Every day's leg day.
So, I have something I'd like to bring up.
Yeah.
So, first of all, I hate it. Like, obviously, in the build-up to a big fight that's coming, some people will say, oh, this guy's going to win. And then other people say, this guy's going to win, like in an MMA match. What the fuck did I just say then? In an MMA match?
I was going to just slide past it. I was just going to be like, that's cool. But yeah, we...
No, I know when I fuck up. I'll point it out. I'll bring it to everyone's attention. Anyway, so like, both people think someone different is going to win.
Yeah.
And then after the match, one of the fucking guys wins. And people online and that are always like, see, like, I fucking knew it. I told you. Like, man, you didn't know. Like, if you knew, they wouldn't even bother fighting, would they? They'd just be like, oh, we all know what's going to happen. Should we just skip this match? Like, it's nonsense. However, having said that, Mighty Mouse versus Rod Tang.
Yeah.
See, I fucking knew it. I told you, right? What a load of nonsense. It was annoying me how before the fight, people were saying like, oh, if Mighty Mouse can survive the first round, like if he gets out of the first round, if he doesn't get knocked out, it's like, mate, like, I get that Rod Tang is like one of the best Muay Thai fighters in the world, but Mighty Mouse is one of the best mixed martial artists in the world. There's a lot of striking in mixed martial arts. Like, why? Like, I'm sure Rod Tang would win a Muay Thai match, but why do people think the gap is so phenomenally different in their striking that he's just going to smash him inside of a round?
I know.
Nonsense. That's insane.
It was insane. Like, there's a guy on YouTube I particularly like. I think his handle's called the Weasel. I think I've mentioned him before.
Man, right.
Yeah.
You've mentioned him almost every episode.
Okay, I like him. He's good.
You love this guy.
He's really good.
It's fine that you mentioned him. It's just funny that you go like, I'm not sure if I've mentioned this guy.
Okay.
I'm pretty sure his handle is. And I'm going to just... Ian, we all know the Weasel.
Okay. He was talking about that the fact is, and you've said it as well, I think that when you put a mixed martial artist, inherently it's called mixed martial arts. It's inherently like that aspect of it. What I got from watching their fight was that I actually think Tang, is that how you pronounce his name? I don't want to say it. Tang. I think he would, if he's quite young still, and if he wanted to do MMA,
I think.
Yeah, if he wanted to do MMA, I think he would be all right. Because in the second round, I got more information about him than I did Mighty Mouse, if you get what I mean. Mighty Mouse, like I knew was going to be fine. Yeah. I think in the first round, I knew he was going to be okay in the striking because he does striking. People made it sound like he was going to run away from him, which I was like, why would he run away from him?
Like he was evasive, which was smart because he obviously knew he was going to win it in the second round, not the first.
But he looked good, didn't he? There were some points where
he landed some good shots.
Yeah,
he landed some really clean shots.
In the second round, obviously Rodtang's stance changed dramatically. I think he changed what makes me think, if he wanted to do MMA, he didn't look as bad as I thought he was going to look in the MMA round. He also defended the choke at first correctly, going for the hand behind the head rather than the one across the neck.
Yeah, he had some idea of what he was doing.
Which, when you compare that to James Toney, when he came over to do MMA, he just got fucked up. He had literally no idea what to do. Like when Randy Couture got him to the ground, it was just over.
Yeah.
So he's young enough that I think he could do well.
I think obviously you still get them fucking idiots, but like back then there was more the idea of like, a boxer could beat a mixed martial artist, like this new sport. It's like, mate, it's not it's not like that.
No.
It includes boxing. Do you know what I mean?
Yes. It was weird that they did this.
Now people are more educated, and obviously Rod Tang will be like, I'm a fantastic Muay Thai fighter. Nevertheless, like I need to learn how to not get taken down.
I do think with his age, if he wanted to do it, that's all I got from that fight. I wasn't, as you say, I don't want to be that guy. I told you, but we did. Both of us said this.
It's a tricky one, though, because obviously I think grapplers can go to MMA much better than strikers can.
Yes, of course.
Grappling is a far, far steeper learning curve
than
striking. And you can get away with only grappling in MMA. We've seen it plenty of times. I mean, Askren did it for a while. Damian Maia did it quite successfully.
It's funny you mentioned Askren. Sorry. It's funny you mentioned him. After this fight, I also thought the UFC must be fucking kicking themselves.
Too right, man. Too right. There.
Fucking hell. What a stupid trade.
Anyway, carry on. At the time, didn't we? We said that at the time. What a fucking stupid deal that is. Why would Mighty Mouse is the... I don't know. I still think, like, it depends what you mean by the best. I still think Mighty Mouse is like the most well-rounded fighter of all time.
Yeah, he's amazing.
All of it brilliantly.
Yeah, he arguably is... I mean, he's top 3 in my opinion. Like maybe number 1, maybe number 2, maybe number 3, depending on
what of most rounded fighters. Who's above?
No, I mean of all time. Oh,
fighters. Who's the best? Yeah. Do you think anyone is more rounded than he is?
No, but I was about to say, like I love GSP, but he is a better wrestler. He's I think as close as well rounded as you can get, but I still think Mighty Mouse is better because his GSP, like he's done a lot. Like when you think about his career, the submission attempts he's had, submissions he has had, but Mighty Mouse is still better in submission game anyway. So he's already better there. GSP's better at wrestling, I think, but again, you lose out on some of the other aspects that the Mighty Mouse has. Like striking is better, so he is more well-rounded.
The other thing that's tricky as well, this is what I don't understand as well. When they do the pound for pound rankings, is like, obviously, the smaller the guys are, the quicker and more agile they are. So they're going to be doing stuff that looks fancier and looks flashier, and there's more options. Like when you see heavyweight subs, it's and heavyweight like TKOs from ground and pound, it's almost exclusively just like heavy guy lays on top of another heavy guy, throws big punches, maybe gets an Americana, some shit like that. But obviously, with the smaller guys, you get some really jazzy shit.
I think that's why.
You'd watch Mighty Mouse and be like, he's so phenomenally much better than these heavyweights and these whoever. And it's like, well, they might be able to do that if they were his size. And he wouldn't be able to do it if he was their size.
I think that's why when you get somebody like, say, more recently in the light heavyweight division with Paul Craig, who just seems to snap on triangles from everywhere. when you get somebody like that, it is really impressive. Like, it's really impressive when you get someone at those weight classes who can do flashy stuff like that. Because triangles aren't. I know people be like, "Oh, triangles, are they that flashy?" I'm like, they are like pretty.
If you're that big.
They are, and especially how he gets them. They just seem to come out of nowhere, and then bang, he's got a triangle. It's fucking nuts. But yeah, I agree. I think Mighty Mouse is probably the most well-rounded MMA fighter ever, and I still, obviously, we've talked about it before. It is hilarious that, I mean, I shouldn't laugh because it is somebody else's career, but also I don't like the UFC and the way they treat fighters. So the fact they traded possibly a trilogy fight with Henry Cejudo, which could have been huge, for Ben Askren, who ended up like doing really badly. Like,
I'm gutted at that trilogy fight, man. Like, because Johnson smashed him in the first.
Yep.
Then in the second, it was frustrating because the classic scenario of DJ was doing better on the feet, but Cejudo was able to get him down, but I don't think did anything.
No, he did,
and down. That really frustrates me. And
I agree. Like, DJ jumped up a lot.
Who was it? Who was it very recently? It was I think it was Matt Brown was calling again for like to have the scoring looked at.
I think so.
Yeah, because I think, I mean, you're a grappler, so I don't know what you're going to think, but I think holding someone down isn't enough. If you're holding someone down, you're not losing, but you're definitely not winning. You're just avoiding damage. I mean, you have to also be dealing damage or attempting to get a submission or do something. You have to be looking to finish.
It's a difficult one. You are right. I am a grappler. That's my focus. Like, I don't do any striking, so obviously I'll have a bias to it. I think when you are able to hold somebody on the ground and they can't do anything, I think that you are controlling somebody and keeping them there, which is hard. Like, they're not like lying. It depends on what we talk about control. If somebody's lying on someone and doing nothing at all, then I would agree with you and you should probably be stood up. But if you're to a point where this person can't move, you're holding them, like, say, in some sort of grips that are holding their arms, preventing them from move. So like Khabib, but Khabib obviously went for finishes, so he's not the best example. But
exactly.
Khabib,
that's why I like Khabib, because he's not satisfied with just laying on the person. He's trying to finish the whole time.
Yeah, exactly. I think but grappling, I was about to say, even as a grappler, we're not grappling though. We're doing mixed martial arts. So for grappling, like in a grappling competition, maybe staying on top of somebody might be okay. Like, I don't know about American wrestling. I don't know the rules for that. But for like pinning is something in American wrestling. If you can pin somebody, you get points.
Yeah.
In jiu-jitsu, depending on the rule set, like staying on top of somebody isn't just going to get you points. If you sit in somebody's guard, you're not going to get points for that. So
good. I think that's good.
Exactly. If you pass the guard though, but depending on what rule set we're in, obviously if you just stay in side control, you could win if you're 2 points up, which is not great. But at the same time, in grappling, I guess there is more of a, if you're stuck in side control, you need to get out. Whereas we're doing mixed martial arts. So I do think because we are doing mixed martial arts, it shouldn't just be copy and paste. Do you know what I mean? We shouldn't just go, it's good enough for grappling, it works for mixed martial arts. If you're not going for a submission or a finish or damage, I think that's the crucial thing. If you're not getting damage, because it's different.
You need to be trying to win the fight. And laying there isn't winning the fight, it's postponing. Like,
exactly.
If someone attacked you out on the street and you took them down and laid on them, you're not finishing the fight. You're waiting for assistance.
Yes.
You're waiting for the police or for security or whatever. Do you know what I mean? Like, whereas, obviously this is not what you do out on the street, but if you wanted to finish the fight, holding him down isn't enough. Because let's pretend there's an indefinite time period, right? You're holding him down. Okay. Well, at some point, you're going to have to get up and let him go. So can you get up without him also getting up and trying to deal damage to you again? If you can't, then you haven't done enough to win the fight. You need to try to incapacitate him by breaking an arm or choking him out or doing something or hitting him to the point where, they give up. You can't just lay on someone because you haven't won. They can still get up and hurt you once you let go.
I think that's the crucial thing. Like, so you look at Kamaru Usman versus Tyron Woodley, right, where he just dominated him and like repeatedly took him down, was hitting him on the floor, but he didn't finish him. Because he was
trying to,
exactly, because he was taking him down and doing the damage. Yeah, he was trying to get it done. I think when you have fight, the thing with Cejudo and DJ was that Cejudo was taking him down. He wasn't able to hold him there all the time.
Yeah.
Definitely the takedowns score you points, but I don't think you should go, well, he took him down, so that outweighs the striking. Because if DJ's causing more damage on the feet, then should that not be more important than a takedown?
I think so, yes, because if you think of it specifically in terms of like damage, like how much does it actually hurt to take somebody down? Yeah, a bit, but not really.
No.
I think it's worth less than like a punch. Like I think it's far more valuable to land strikes on the ground than it is to get the takedown in the first place.
Well, I think the rulings have changed recently. I would have to double check. We've obviously just watching like, some videos on YouTube with how did you score it? How's this? Because recently Whittaker versus Adesanya was a very close fight. And people online thought Whittaker won that. And so I watched a few videos on people comparing scorecards. I think the issue is also the actual people judging it rather than the rules as well. So when Matt Brown says we need to look at the rules, I think we also should look at who's judging this. Because some people who are judging it are still people who judge boxing and they don't understand everything. Or it's people who...
That's daft.
Yeah, it's stupid, man. Like, if again, New York's infamous for being terrible, but they do that in New York a lot. And I think people judging it should be former fighters. I think you should have former fighters who would want to do it judging because they're fighters. They know what they're looking for. Or former referees like, Big John McCarthy or someone like that. People who are very good. Because at the moment, I just think being a judge can be people who've never done martial arts before.
You need to be involved in, like, I get what you're saying, and I think the best people would be people who have fought. I don't think you have to have fought to be a judge, but you definitely need to be involved in that sport. You can't be a fucking boxing judge and then be like, nah, I'll have a crack at MMA. Like, that's insane.
It's mad, isn't it? It's mad, and that still happens, and that's why I think we do see random scorecards that just don't make any sense, or ones that when they're given to people, like there's been some mad calls that I'm just like, what the fuck have we been watching? Like, what fight have people been looking at? It's getting better, but I just think there's still a long way to go. I think we've talked about before that they also shouldn't be in the ring. I think that would be a good way of that as well, because I think when you have crowd they shouldn't be in the ring. I just realized what I said. They're not in the ring anyway, in the arena.
Yeah, like they should be in like a soundproof room or something.
Yeah, because then they're not getting any. Because sometimes punches that fans like, particularly when you have a local like fighter fighting on a card, the amount of times people scream and shout whenever
the punch didn't even land.
No. Or it was a light jab or something like that, and you're just like, that wasn't that important of a strike, I don't know.
It definitely weighs on the judges. It definitely makes a big difference.
Oh God, yeah.
You can't help it. You can't help it, but be part of the atmosphere when the hometown boys landing shots.
Oh yeah, totally. Like, we were there for Bellator London with Michael Venom Page, and people love
Lima. What a load of shit.
But yeah, I thought Douglas Lima won that fight. Like,
of course he did. Oh my God, it's insane.
Yeah, and I like Michael Venom Page. He's a great fighter, but I do think Douglas Lima won that. It's also mad that was only 3 rounds.
I'm not a big fan of Michael Venom Page at all.
Oh, really?
I don't know. I get that people like to, celebrate and whatever post-fight. I just feel like he's extremely disrespectful. Like he's very gloaty and disrespectful rather than just celebrating. When I watch him, it doesn't feel genuine. I don't feel like he's celebrating because he's happy. I feel like he's more like, fuck you, like I beat you. And I'm like, that's really shitty. That person's flown a long way to make you money. You should respect that person.
I get that. I forgot about some of his celebrations. They have been quite bad in the past.
Like when he did that knee and cracked that guy's head.
But then Cyborg has protected paedophiles, so I'm a little bit like, I don't really care much.
All I'm saying is if you do a knee and someone goes down and they're like not getting up again, like they're not moving, they're clearly in agonizing pain, don't put on a Pokemon hat and throw shit at him. Like, it is quite funny, but like, fuck me, man, that's dreadful.
It is bad,
really, really bad.
When you say it, it's funny. When I watched it, I was like, oh God, that's so bad. When you say it out, it's just ridiculous.
It is. Like, but have you've been in that situation where like literally something small, right? Like you bang your fucking elbow on the counter, and you're like, "Fuck!" Like, and someone just tries to talk to you, like literally, just like, "Ian, what's wrong?" Like, you don't even fucking talk to me. Like, do you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
stay away from me whilst
I
I'm
get
in
it.
this turmoil. Like, now imagine like someone's literally like cracked the person, like the counter who damaged your elbow is now saying, "What's wrong, Ian?" Do you know what I mean? Like, something wrong. Like, you get what I'm saying?
Yeah. I
He's
know.
just
No,
done the damage.
I completely get you. I think I enjoy listening to Michael Venom Page. Like, there's been some good interviews with him where he comes across really well, and he is quite funny, and I think he's interesting to watch as a fighter too. But I get what you're saying. I think like I've forgotten about some of the post-fight. I forgot about the Pokemon ball. I really did. It's real bad. It's actually. I'm laughing not because it's funny, but more just the fact he did that. You know what I mean?
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
Like, it's not funny, but the fact that
Mate, it's good TV. I watched it and I was like, Jesus. But it makes me think he's a prick.
Yeah, I get why you think that. Yeah, I get that. I don't dislike Michael Venom Page. I wanted Douglas Lima to win because I actually really like Douglas Lima. But I get with the post fight celebration stuff. But my point more was in that when we went to see that, every time, like, it was an interesting fight and it was very tactical. The two of them, because from the last fight when Douglas Lima just knocked him the fuck out, the two of them were being very cautious. So they were very tactically going for strikes and shots. They weren't just going for like swinging for the fences.
Yeah.
But every time Michael Venom Page did anything, even if it was a move forward it was exhausting. Like, he was distance controlling or figuring out like range. Everybody in the arena, whoa, oh, and I was like, he's not done anything. He's not done anything yet. Like, if he does something, cool, but he's not done anything yet. Let's calm down. And I think that does affect judges. I think that does.
Thing that really annoys me as well is do you like James Acaster?
Is that the comedian?
He's a comedian.
Yeah. I know of him. Yeah, I know of him. He's quite funny.
Quick shout. On Netflix, he's got a stand-up show that's in 4 parts called Repertoire. It's fucking amazing. I think that's like one of the best stand-ups ever done. One of the best specials I've ever seen. Anyway, he does a really good bit on there. It's really quick how he's talking about how he'd like to go to Kenya and like build a well, like to feel good about himself. And he's like, and I tell people in Britain, like, and he's like, I tell British people in Britain, the worst kind of people, by the way. Like, it's really funny, and I agree. I think I know all of our listeners are not all of them, but a lot of them are British. I'm British. You're British. I don't really like British people.
No,
because like we were at Bellator, and this like proper, like really classic British guy next to me, like right. Tell you what, here's a fun game. Right. There was a really just obviously British guy stood next to me. Please, could you try to describe him, Ian, and I'll tell you if you're right or wrong.
Okay. Bit red in the face.
A little bit, yeah.
Yeah, a little bit.
Around the nose.
Yeah, around the nose, I was about to say. Bit gammony is what I call them, the gammons.
Gammony. Okay. Describing him.
A little bit of a beer belly?
Yeah, he had a beer belly,
Yeah. Maybe a white polo on?
He did have a polo. I can't remember what. I can picture him in a polo, but I'm not sure what colour.
Possibly bald or brown.
He was definitely bald.
Yeah.
So there's your average British man. And he turned and said, I don't know if it was to me or just vaguely in our direction. And he said, as they were coming out, he was like, "Which one's the British one?" And I was like, why is that influencing your decision? Like, God. What frustrated me about that is that he doesn't know either of these men who are coming in. He has no idea who either of these guys are. But purely he was going to, and then did, boo the one who wasn't British and cheer the one who was British. And
I'm dropping things in here. I'm sorry.
I hate that shit, man. I hate
Me
that
too.
Shit. If you want to cheer for the British guy, whatever, live your life. But why have you got to boo the guy who's flown thousands of miles, like, to put on a show for you? Like, I don't know. Some people.
I'm gonna dilute it even more. Right?
Go.
I fucking hate England fans.
Me
like,
too.
England. Yeah, British. Like, generally, yeah, I agree with you as well. But if we really narrow it down, England fans are just fucking awful. Like, awful, and like, and it makes me embarrassed to say, oh yeah, I'm English / British. Like, I agree with you. I don't really like If we're gonna go full out, I don't really like this country. I don't really enjoy it, and
we might lose some followers here.
It's fine. It's fine. It's fine. I really hate the same thing, man. I hate when people go, "Oh, they're from a different country, so I hate them," and it's xenophobic. It's nationalistic. And I'm just like, why? Just because they look different or they speak a different language or they have a different flag? Why? Like, they've come to, as you say, entertain you. And I hate it when it's mixed martial arts. I really hate football for that reason. Like,
the thing that it frustrates me, like, so let's say the person is quite close to home. Like, one guy is British, but he lives in Kent, and the other person is French and lives somewhere in the north of France. And it's like, you don't know either of those men.
Nope.
One lives, let's say, 150 miles away, and the other lives 250 miles away.
Yeah.
So, he's a bit closer. I like this guy. Like,
yeah.
That's insane to me.
I also love it.
Insane.
I love it when people, if to really be pedantic about it, I love when people go, "Oh, I love this guy who maybe fights from Newcastle or even further north from Scotland because they're British. You're from London, and the guy's fighting from North France. Technically, the guy from France is closer to you. So
yeah. Insane. Yeah, but that's not where the lines were drawn, Ian. The lines were drawn
with England fans. Again, I worked in Wembley for quite a while, so England fans might really grate on me more than other people, but I'm sure you agree. When it comes to England football, like during the Euros, we were shameful. It was disgusting, man. The fact we just attacked people who weren't English, the fact we just smashed up shops. Why? Why are you think it's okay because you support England?
Please change we to they, though, because I don't like the whole, like, why are we getting grouped in? I know we're British, but we didn't do that, and that's part
true.
Of the problem.
Yeah, that is part of the problem. Why do they think it's okay to go? I don't even watch international football, so I don't know why I said we, but why do they think it's okay because they carry around a Union Jack that they can be like, or the English flag? I just don't get it. I really don't. I completely agree with you, man. I'm on the complete same page that I genuinely am like, I hate when people go to any sport events and I just immediately hate anybody who's not from their nation. I remember being in a pub watching, I'm not really into boxing, but a mate of mine wanted to watch Anthony Joshua versus, who was the Mexican guy who beat him? I completely forget. Ruiz. Yeah, there you go. That's how little I know about boxing. And I was in this pub and there was this guy. This guy next to him, which again, describing a standard English person, he was also quite small and very not athletically built at all. Brilliant. And he just turned, I don't know why he started talking to us. He just was like, all he's got to do is just give him the jab and
I was about to say, I bet he would have done that fucking Mexican fella in there, wouldn't he? That's always the way.
That's what he said.
And he just needs to fucking knock him out.
Yeah.
What I do, I just fucking knock him out.
And I was like,
what's he not knocking him out for? Knock him out.
I love you weren't there and you got what he said exactly right. That's exactly what he was saying. And I was just like, I couldn't not laugh.
I know that guy, man. I've met him. It's the same guy. I'm sure I've met that guy.
Is it the one who was like, who's the British one?
Yeah. Right. I'm not sure if I've said this before, but I'll say it again. And people aren't going to like this, but I don't give a fuck. It's my podcast. So I think football and teams sows the seeds that you will need later in life to be racist.
Oh no, I completely agree with you. Yeah, no, I totally agree with that.
We're the Reds, you're the Blues. We're from this town, you're from that town. So fuck you. You're a different color. You're from somewhere else. Fuck you.
Yeah.
And that goes all the way up the chain. People hate the team from the next town over, but they will get together to hate the next country over when it's England. You know what I mean? People get together with the nearest person in that category to hate the next person in a different category.
Yeah.
But they will come together to hate the person in the next larger category. We're European, you're American. I'm sure that once we meet aliens, if we do, we will come together as people, but only when we're against the aliens. When the aliens are gone, we'll go back to hating each other. And I just think that's bad. And it starts with football. Literally, you grab these parents, sorry if this is you, But
Well, not me, but
buying like a football shirt for their kid, like the little boy is, I don't know, 3. First of all, we might not like fucking football. Don't force it on him. But also, you buy him a shirt, right? Here's an Arsenal shirt because in this family we're Arsenal, and anytime you see a fucking Tottenham, fuck you, like. He's 3, man. Like, he's 3. Like, why are you instilling these values in him that it's okay to hate people who are different and like other things to you? Like,
yeah,
that's insane. But like, just because you're an adult and you might have a handle on it and like, oh no, I'm only joking. The kid can't really understand that until a lot later in life, and you're planting them seeds really fucking early that if someone's different to you, you should dislike them.
I agree,
I
man.
just think that's so dangerous. But I don't see how people don't see that.
I think I also think it's even more compounded by the fact that you have high levels of racism in football. Like, clearly it's an issue, because if it wasn't, why obviously racism is something that perpetrates like our entire society, and there's a big question about that. But I completely agree that when you have a game where you have fans who say throw bananas at black players who are on the opposite team because they hate that opposite
do it
team.
To their own team.
Yeah. Well,
and
yeah.
I don't get it.
Yeah. But
He's on your team, bruv. What's the problem?
The biggest example of this, of like, it doesn't make any sense. Obviously, racism to me doesn't make sense anyway. But in football, so a team that has high amounts of racism in their fans is Chelsea. Chelsea as a club have had skinhead supporters for a very long time.
Right.
But they are also demographically, as players, they've had a lot of African players play for them. A large amount of them are from North Africa, just because I think they have a lot of scouts that are based there. So it's fucking weird that this club has fans who are just fucking hate anybody who's from another ethnicity or who are black, who they've been known to push black people off trains in Paris. But then they have a large amount.
Explain it to you. I can explain it to you.
Yeah.
So, as a Chelsea fan, you know me. I love my.
I was about to say,
blue,
what?
As a fucking blue.
What did this happen?
We're more than happy to have them fucking foreigners on our team, providing they win. You know, because when they don't win, it's because of the fucking foreigners. We got.
I love your
guy. We've got the African guy at the front to score goals. So long as he scores goals, that's fine. He can stay. But if he's not scoring goals, he should go back where he came.
Just for listeners,
right?
Dustin is playing a character there. He hates football.
I'm playing the guy you met in the pub.
Yeah, just give him a left and knock him out.
I was playing the guy in the pub. Yeah.
Mate, it's fucking. I don't get it. I agree with you though. I completely agree with you. I couldn't agree more with the fucking stupidness that is hating people. Like if you enjoy football, cool. Like, I like football, but I don't hate people because they like support another team. I genuinely like don't care. Like, people have gone to me when I say, "Oh, I like Spurs." They'll be like, "Oh, I support Arsenal." I'm like, "Great, cool, very good team. They're good to watch." I don't get it.
Nah, it's insane, man. I don't get it.
It's fucking weird.
Do you like Russell Brand?
Yeah, I don't mind him. I mean, I haven't really. I don't follow him, but like, he's been fine. I genuinely.
Sure.
Yeah.
I'll need to try and find this bit. I can't remember what stand-up it's from. I've seen a few of his stand-ups, and he's talking about like people who don't like immigrants. And he tries to. It's obviously not going to be funny when I do it. I'll try to find it and send it to you. And he says about like an immigrant is literally someone who was somewhere and like is now somewhere else. and he like acts this little bit out. He's like looking around, and then he goes, "Oh, like where did you come from?" And he's like, "Oh, over there." And he's like, "How long have you been there?" "Oh, like I just got here." And he's like, "No, I don't like it when everyone's moving around. Everyone should just stay where they are." Like, it's very funny. I'll find it and send it to you. But it is, when you think of it like that, it is insane. It's like an immigrant is just someone who lived somewhere else and now they live here. Like, that's what I don't get. Right, just like you were saying, right, about if you live in London, someone in France, you know, northern France is closer to you than like Newcastle.
Yeah.
So people move into London all the time, right? Yep. If you move down from Newcastle, or probably even Scotland, right? It's a fucking different country, to London, people won't really care. They'll just be like, "Oh, yeah, you're British, whatever." But if you move a much shorter journey from France into London, some shitty people will give you shit.
Yeah.
It's like, bro, he's moved less distance than this other guy. And
I know.
The thing that's insane about it is because someone at some point drew lines in the sand and said, this bit's our bit and that bit's your bit. We live here, you live there. Let's keep it that way.
Yeah.
And like everyone's just agreed. Like, yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah.
these people do realize. Obviously, maybe it's worse here because we're on an island.
Yeah.
Like maybe if we lived inland, we were a landlocked country, so that people could actually go to that border and be like, oh, I thought there'd be like a wall or oh, there's just nothing. So we can. Are you telling me? We can just walk freely from this piece of land over into that piece of land, and no one's gonna. Interesting. I think people would have a different view on the world.
It's bizarre, isn't it? It's bizarre, isn't it? Like with that mentality. I mean, I know there probably will be people listening to us who don't agree with us, but I just find
fuck those people.
I do find, and it is Britishness, I guess. I do find the British mentality of immigration quite weird. That we drastically dislike people coming to this country, even though immigration has been like a bedrock of our country for generations,
literally forever.
Literally forever. Like
this is what annoys me when people say, "Oh, I'm British." What the fuck does that mean?
Yeah.
Like, how are you? Who the fuck is? Are you a Celt? Are you a Viking? Are you a Saxon? Are you a Roman? Are you a Norman? Like, what the fuck are you? What are you on about? Fucking British? Shut up, man.
It's mad. It really fucking annoys me. And it's the fact they go, "What? I'm white British then," and it's like, yeah, no, everything you just listed then is exactly what we're talking about. So somebody coming here in the Windrush, who again massively important for this country, they're British, and people can't tell them that they're not. Like just because, oh well, no, they don't look what we consider to be. But then I find,
that's fair.
You're back into the character again, right?
I was briefly. I was gonna. You remember how I said we should try and get in a shitty opinion and just see if the other person can.
Yeah, I forgot about that.
I couldn't say it without doing like the exhale afterwards.
yeah,
just came out. I'll keep trying.
But then I shouldn't say we. I say we broadly in terms of the British, as in this country, but I mean they. People from this country will immigrate to, say, Spain in mass numbers and then create little areas in these places that are like the UK, but hotter, obviously, because it's in Spain.
Because the UK is better.
That's about...
No. Hear me out. Because if you go to like a really, not backwards, but compared to the UK, quite backwards country like Spain.
What?
Listen. And
this is the bad idea, right? This is your... Yeah, you can't give a straight face.
And you can't see my fucking face. And like, you go to, find the local supermarket and it's full of just like weird products you don't recognize. Because they don't have the good stuff. They don't have the good products.
They don't have the good stuff.
I don't know which supermarkets they have in Spain, but I'm guessing they don't have all the good ones that we have. They have all the Spanish ones that aren't.
Oh Christ!
Obviously, yeah. If I'm going to move to a foreign country, I don't want it to be foreign. I want it to have everything I'm used to having.
It's fucking hilarious, isn't it? Then people do genuinely have that opinion, which I'm like, what? Like, why would you do that?
Yeah, just don't move, man.
Just don't move. Just
don't move. Or move, but, either to Cornwall or into the sea would be better.
Yeah.
Further.
Yeah. Go. Keep going.
Live in the sea.
There you go. Live in the sea. There you go. Get in the ocean.
Mad.
I love our podcast about martial arts is just basically about anything now.
We started on martial arts.
We did, but I like that it just trails off into other conversations. I think that's a good thing. It was Robin Black said that, didn't he? Enjoyed the free flowingness of
we have to get him back.
Yeah, I'd love that. He was a really interesting guy. Like it was really, really interesting. Like a lot of thoughts, which I was like,
you.
No, I'm boring. I'm real boring. I'm dull as fuck, man. I don't know why anybody would listen to me talk.
Did you want... sorry. Nah, man, no. No, you were. I like talking to you. The thing you said about Spain, that was good.
Oh,
It was really interesting, Ian.
Speaking of things you said a minute ago that were interesting, which again, nothing to do with martial arts, but I just found it interesting when you were talking about when we discover alien life, if we discover alien life, that we would then become like opposed to that because it's not us. Like as somebody who, as somebody who's I'm a massive nerd. I love sci-fi and I enjoy reading. You? What? A nerd? What? I love reading sci-fi novels and like being in that sort of fandom. I find like I enjoy watching something like say Star Trek, which is it's fun, but the idea of that is like aliens come to Earth, and because of that we're just like, oh great, yeah, utopian society now, everything's really good. But that is not at all what would happen. Like the opposite would happen. That it'd be like it's something different to us. It must die. You know what I mean?
Definitely.
Yeah, like
it's different. Why? Cut it open and find out.
Yeah, like one of my favorite like fandoms is very nerdy. Is like Warhammer, but in that they genuinely,
cool.
I love it, man. It's my biggest hobby at the moment, other than jiu-jitsu. But in that, human race has found other aliens, and it's like, yeah, fucking destroy them. They have to die because they're not human, so they have to just die. Which is like way more accurate to what we'd be like. Like I always think that if we do find aliens, that's probably the thing that would make us stop fighting each other. You know what I mean? Because if we did, maybe because I think
together to fight the aliens.
Yeah. Like if we found alien existence out there, we would then the divisions of say France to the UK or Russia to Ukraine or China to the US would be devoid. It wouldn't matter because there's a bigger thing outside of those things that could just kill us because it's not like us. So then we as a race would be like, shit, we got to deal with that rather than each other.
Yeah.
I've always thought that.
I've always fought against a common enemy,
Yeah.
Classic.
I've always thought, as you said, with the next town over, the next town, it just becomes bigger. And I've always thought that.
Yeah.
Just thought I'd throw that in.
Until it's like, you're not from our galaxy.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Exactly. You're not human, so you'll have to die.
And then maybe we'll come together with the nearest aliens that we find against the new aliens.
Yeah. And sounds like we're writing a sci-fi film here or something.
I wouldn't watch that.
No. That was the shitty Independence Day sequel. That's basically what that was. Bigger aliens. Did you watch that?
Is Will Smith in that? Is that Independence Day?
No, Will Smith's not in that one. How have we not talked about that as well? Just Will Smith smacking Chris Rock.
Will Smith that I'm in that's
wild.
Not Men in Black. I swear, was he in like the first? Is there a new one or something?
So there's Independence Day 2. Another one came out, and I don't think Will Smith's in that one.
Oh, is he in the first one?
He's in the first one.
Ah, I've seen the first one. I'm not seen the second one.
First one's classic, but in the second one, what happens is bigger aliens turn up, and it turns out that the aliens we fought in the first film were actually just the little aliens, and then there were some bigger aliens, and we decided to team up with the little aliens to fight the big aliens.
Mad. Oh, they did team up with the little ones.
Yeah. And the end of the film's a cliffhanger because we're going to go into space and fight the big aliens.
Do you think there are going to be bigger aliens?
But mate, it's never ending. It's like Russian dolls of aliens.
Well, that sounds shit.
It was really bad, and I don't think we're going to get another sequel.
So yeah, we won't spend too long on this, but Will Smith, Chris Rock.
Whew.
I'm not saying it was fake. I'm just saying I'm not convinced. It looked really odd. Will Smith played Muhammad Ali in the film Ali. I know he had to do a lot of training for that. I'm sure he knows how to throw a punch. A slap is not overly dissimilar from a hook. And every time I watch it, everything about Will Smith's movement is really odd. He throws the right hand, but he throws a slap, but he drives it like a punch rather than swinging it like a slap. And instead of pulling his body weight from his right to his left in the same direction as the hook, he throws his body weight from the left to the right and catches his weight really weird and awkwardly on the right leg. It's the most awkward, ridiculous, like dreadful slap that the only way I could ever explain how anyone would ever throw something like that is if it was a stage slap and it had no intention of hurting anyone.
Or would you say Would you think like he started off being like, yeah, I'm going to really hit him, and then
regretted it instantly? As he was throwing it, he regretted it.
Yeah, maybe. I mean,
maybe, but it was still very, very odd. Also,
Yeah.
the way that Chris Rock, fair enough, maybe he did just have his hands behind his back, like, but he had his hands behind his back and he was leaning forward, like putting his face forward. Like, what an odd stance to just be in when someone's approaching you, like, angry, or like, I don't know. We can't see Will Smith's face, but like, he's approaching you. Why are you leaning forward with your hands down? I'm not saying like get ready, a punch is coming. I'm just saying, just as a normal human, that's an odd stance. Like, have your hand out ready. Maybe he was going to shake your hand or give you a hug or punch you or do anything. He's coming towards you. Why are your hands behind your back and you're leaning forward with your chin up? And why is Will Smith throwing such a really odd, bizarre hook? Also, the noise, you can see that his microphone is down on his lapel, not up by his ear. And the only noise you can hear is like a woof on the microphone, right? So did he hit him in the chest? Why is that sound so loud when the microphone is down on his lapel? All a bit odd. I'm not saying it was definitely fake. Maybe it was real. I'm just saying it was really fucking odd. If it was real, that was absolutely fucking dreadful.
I was going to say, either way, it's fucking wild. It's wild that happened.
Mad.
It's
great TV.
Yeah, I mean, Chris Rock said it. It's the greatest moment.
No one knew the fucking Oscars was on. That's another thing that leads me to believe that maybe it was fake. Come on, man.
Yeah, I knew, genuinely.
Yeah, no, maybe you did, but no one was fucking watching it. No one.
I wasn't watching
it. It wasn't a big deal, and then now it's a big deal. So I think there's a really good incentive to make some bullshit slap up.
Maybe. I mean, I don't. Maybe it's the digital age we live in, but I don't think it was fake personally. But I respect that it's fucking wild. It's wild what happened, and
wild.
Yeah, and I certainly think there's, what's the word I'm looking for? I can understand, because of it being so like, what the fuck, being like, this looks weird, because it does look weird. It does look weird. So, but I don't think it was fake, but I do think it was fucking crazy. And as you say, I don't want to go on it too much, because like, it's fucking crazy. Like, it's insane what happened. And you know, when you watch it, as you say, it is fucking weird to watch.
Man, he's just resigned.
Yeah. He resigned from the Oscars this morning. Yeah,
resigned from the Academy. Yeah, over Oscars incident. Mad.
Yeah, I don't know. It's just like, part of me is like, I don't think it'd be fake because of what it could do to his career, which was on a resurgence now because he was in King Richard. So that's the only thing I'd say, but we don't know. But yeah, fucking insane what happened. Whatever turns out to be truth in it, if it was fake, if it was real, whatever, it's wild, isn't it? It's wild.
Yeah, it's mad.
Yeah, it's
good
mad.
TV.
Yeah. Greatest moment in TV history.
Disagree with that, but good TV.
No, that's what Chris Rock said, wasn't it? After he
did say that, but yeah, that's not true. But
I disagree.
If you were there and you got slapped, you'd think this was bigger than it is.
Yeah. Like, no, it's not. It's definitely not, but it's still wild. It's definitely like crazy. Anyway, yeah. Cool.
Is that our allotted time?
Yeah, I feel that's a nice way to round up, you know, current affairs and so forth.
Yeah. So what's a good way to finish? We need a good way to finish.
Oh yeah, we've never really established this.
Okay. 3, 2, 1.
What are we doing?
I don't know. I was hoping you'd maybe exclaim something like,
"Oh, okay, bye."
Oh no, I thought it'd be better than that.
Oh, okay.
Come up with something good quickly. Right, you ready?
Okay.
3. no pressure. 3, 2, 1.
Well, it's been great having everybody today.
I was hoping for like. To be fair, there's no way you'd know this. I was just hoping you would have like a slogan, like a, you know, that's the way the cookie crumbles.
Oh, okay, right.
We're all gonna die one day.
Well, loop round very well because we started talking about me being ill. So yeah, we're all gonna die, maybe sooner rather than later.
So hug your loved ones.
Yeah, hug your loved ones. Don't argue. Yeah, life's too short.
Dog a kiss. Tell him he's a good boy.
Yeah, you know, that's the way we sign off every week. Just reminding people that life is fleeting, and you know, you gotta live it to the most.
Live it to the most.
Yeah. Perfect. Terrible English.
Terrible English. Live it to the most and have a really best day. Okay.
That's it. Live it the most.
Goodbye, everyone's. All of you buddies.
Buys everybody's.
Right.
Yeah, that's good. Right.
Thanks for listening to the Combat Casuals podcast.
To get involved with the ultimate fighting conversation, email us at combatcasuals@outlook.com.
We can answer your questions in our next podcast.
Or maybe even have you on the show.
Be sure to follow, subscribe, leave us a review, or support us however you can.
Thank you to Me Against the World for our theme music.
Catch you next time.